Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've been flying Flight Sim a little bit recently, and one of the things I've always said about Flight Sim is it's an amazing platform, but it doesn't have an awful lot of guidance or direction on, how to kind of get the best of the simulator. It's fine if you're, part of a virtual airline or something along those lines, but if you're kind of left to your own devices, you kind of have to fill in the gaps when it comes to creating some type of value proposition for the flight sim. And it's not to say that the flight sim itself is lacking. It's not. It's I think becoming the de facto kind of flight sim globally right now in terms of civilian flight simulators anyways. But in terms of the content in the sim, there are a few missions that you can do, etc. But there's not an awful lot outside of that you can do. That's where other third-party developers start to step in. And so for those that have ever been part of the flight sim community, you might have heard something called FS Economy, which is, I think I've even got FS Economy here. Yeah, I can bring it over. Oh, no, that's not the right one. It is, this thing here. I'm not signed in right now, but this allows you to kind of find flights and fly them with Sim Connect, and it will tell you, you're taking off from this airport, you're landing at this airport, and we'll give you tasks to do, give you jobs to do. Now there's lots of videos on YouTube about Flight Sim Economy, so I'm not gonna cover them, and not least of which I have an account and I have flown in the past on it. I haven't with Flight Sim 2020. And the reason I haven't is because of this. So this is something called On-Air Airline Manager, in which you get to create your own virtual airline. And it's I gotta say, I'm really enjoying it. Now, for those that have kind of flown these types of systems before, you might remember something called Air Hauler. And in fact, I think there's an Air Hauler version 2 out. I've not got it. I think it's even available for X-Plane. Now I played the original Air Hauler and really loved it. And you get to do exactly what we get to do here, which is set up a virtual airline, and then you can hire artificial intelligence pilots, and they can fly some flights for you, etc., etc. So On-Air Airline Manager is very similar to that. It creates this kind of ability to build a virtual airline from the ground up. And I've been playing it for the past few days, and I've actually managed to kind of get a decent sized kind of airline going. So Nova Blue is the name of my airline, my virtual airline. I've got 10 employees, 11 aircraft, seven of them are flying right now. Got a bunch of jobs that I've completed. You can see I've completed 174. Most of those AI. I've not had an awful lot of chance to fly lately. Got some cash. Incomes, etc. So what we can do is, let me just close Teams there, quit. I'll just grab this window here and drag it over. So here you can see my virtual airline, and you can see I've got a bunch of pilots actually flying. So Ebony Grant is flying my X-Cub, which was the first aircraft I bought for this airline. So I bought this aircraft and just started flying some missions. Now, again, I might have mentioned this on the channel before. One of my favorite channels on YouTube is somebody called, his name's Ryan, and his channel's called Missionary Bush Pilot, and he's a pilot in Papua New Guinea, and he flies, in this case, a Quest Kodiak, all around, these areas of Papua New Guinea down here around Port Moresby, but predominantly I think they're based out of Goroka, which is right there. And I can bring up his channel. In fact, I'll bring over his Patreon. I'm a Patreon member, so you get all the behind the scenes stuff, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, this is him here, Missionary Bush Pilot. Really cool guy. Actually very interactive, especially if you're one of his Patreons. So he kind of replies to messages and stuff like that. So he flies in this area of Papua New Guinea, and I've always been really intrigued by it. So I set up an airline there. Now, the other area of the world that I'm very interested in is, you could tell that I like bush flying, because the other part of the world that I like is over here in some of these areas of British Columbia and Alaska, right up into kind of some of these areas down here. There's Homer down here. Yeah, there it is there. I really like kind of bush flying in these areas as well. And in fact, if you've ever watched a channel on, I think it's on Discovery, called Flying Wild Alaska, it's based out of Untitled, which is somewhere around here maybe. There's Shack-Tulik. There's Untitled right there. So that's a great channel, a great television show. If you've never watched any aviation shows, see if you can get a hold of Flying Wild Alaska. Really cool show. So anyways, I really like flying in this area as well. So I've got basically two areas of operations for my airline. One is based out of Kelowna, British Columbia, which is over here. And we have a few aircraft. This is the kind of the second area that we're expanding to. So not as many aircraft as we have over here down in Papua New Guinea. You can see our flights flying a few things. We tend to, I've got this X Cub because it was the first one that I got, but I tend to have a lot of Cessna Caravans because, well, A, there's not an awful lot in Microsoft Flight Sim in terms of aircraft availability. So the best one that I found for flying from these types of airstrips are kind of bush aircraft like the Asobo X Cub, but also the Grand Caravan. The Grand Caravan obviously has a much better range, a lot better power, has high performance. It's got a big Pratt & Whitney PT6 turbine at the front, so it's turbine powered. You can get a hold of jet fuel seemingly a little bit easier. I think that's the same in real life. So the PT6 uses jet fuel rather than 100 LL. So I got a lot of Caravans. I own some of them and I've rented some of them. So you can see these ones here are rented. And then I've also got a couple of King Air 350s, which are not as good from unimproved and soft field landing sites, but they do all right in those kind of scenarios. And then in terms of range and speed and carrying ability, the King Air 350 is pretty amazing. So I thought for this video, what I would do is I would head over here to a plane that I just bought. There's me. There I am. And I've loaded up. You can see I've got 1,311. Oh, there's my cat. 1,311 pounds of cargo at this location. And if we go, let me go back to this window and go to pending jobs. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. No, that's not the right one. This one. You can see that what I'm doing is taking this cargo with, there's two sets of cargo, so food crates and printed magazines, and we're flying them from here, which is, where are we? CZPC, which is Pincher Creek. We're flying from Pincher Creek, and we're going to fly to Castlegar over here in southern British Columbia. Right, so we've got the Rockies to cross over, or come into anyways. You can see that we're over here in basically the foothills of the Rockies, the Canadian Rockies. So we're going to head over and we're going to have to see what kind of altitude we're going to do. So that's a little overview of On Air Company Manager. If someone would like to see a kind of in-depth review of it and a bit more understanding of its features, I'm happy to do a video of it. Just let me know in the comments below if it's something that you'd like to see. Otherwise, no worries at all. I'll just kind of leave it there. So this is the one that we're going to fly today. Maybe next time I might do one in Papua New Guinea. You can see some of the incredibly difficult flying that there is to do there. But we're going to do this flight today. So I'll cut the video there and I'll catch back up with you on the deck in British Columbia. In Alberta. Right, here we go. We are over here in Pincher Creek. We're heading to Castlegar. It's 144 miles. We're going to not go straight. We're going to go via a little bit of navigating here. The reason why is there is some kind of restricted zone down here. Now, there is some airspace here that we'll need to cross, but that's fine. I would rather do that than go through this kind of restricted airspace, this dangerous airspace here. So we're going to go to the Fernie kind of turn point, and then we've got a VOR DME here, which is YXC. and then we're down into Castlegar from there. Now, I do have Canadian airport charts. This is them, so you can download this. I should probably put a link to it if I can find it again. So I'll have a look in the comments below. I'll put a link to where you can download these charts if you fly in Canada. So this is the aerodrome chart for Pincher Creek. This is where we're taking off from. I have no idea where we're going to spawn in, somewhere around these parking areas. I would imagine up there or there. And then this is Castle. Ooh, that's zoomed in, isn't it? This is Castlegar, which is there. So runway 33 and 15. So Pincher has 08 and 26. And our approach, where we're landing, Castlegar has 33 and 15 as the two runways. So we've got frequencies. We know a little bit about the runways, special procedures, and stuff like that, which is good because we've all got this in the charts, which is good. The other thing I suppose we should show is windy.com, which is, again, if you want to understand weather, windy.com is pretty awesome. So we're over here. Where are we? Let's see if I can find us. This is all British Columbia here. Regina, Medicine Hat, Lethbridge, Pincher Creek. So you can see we're just on the edge of some of this low cloud. So we need to get out of here before that cloud comes over. I think it's probably moving in this direction anyways. You can see the predominant flow of wind is this direction. So I'd imagine it's pulling these clouds away. So we're going to take off from Pincher Creek here, and we're heading over to, where are we going? We're going to Castlegar. Where's Castlegar? Let's see if we can find it. What do we say that it was called? Let me get this. CYCG. CYCG. Let's get that in. CYCG. That's the weather station. Let's do CYCG in terms of the airport. CYCG. There we go. Cool. Okay, here's the METAR. So wind 180, 10 knots. So 180. So if we go back to this, I would be very surprised if we're not landing on runway 15, but we'll see in the sim. Nope. Nope. I want to go back to windy. Visibility 15, statute miles, clouds, few at 23,000. So there's almost nothing. Temperature 18, dew point -2, so it's good and warm, so we're nowhere near the dew point. It's not going to rain. Altimeter is 303 inches of mercury. Density altitude is 1,900 feet, which the airport is at 1,600. So due to the temperature and pressure in the area, a bit of a higher density altitude, which is fine. Any webcams? There are some webcams around the highway. Nothing. Any NOTAMs? Procedure not authorized. I think that's fine. Cool. Nothing seriously worrying there. This is the airport here. Cool. So looks like the weather's fine. A little bit of wind from 1.8. 10 knots is not a small amount of wind. One of the things you can do, there's Castlegar there, is you can go over here to wind. And we can go to, we can look at the Castlegar. It's kind of bluish. Yeah, it's actually saying it's not that bad here based on this. Is that now? Yeah, it is. But we can go wind gusts. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Rain, no rain in the area. Obviously, there's no clouds, so it's be hard to have rain. Cool. All right, so sim is set up. That's our flight path. 144 nautical miles. Let's click on fly. I'll see you in the sim. Right, here we go. We are at Pincher Creek. Cool. That's the plane. Click on ready to fly. Right, one of the things I just wanted to make sure that I've done is make sure that, oh no, I'm not. Live weather. There we go. That's better. And we can do live timings. Live everything. Cool. Okay. That's better. Okay, well, looks like there's a bit of cloud. That doesn't look like we were just seeing on windy. Okay. Well, we can deal with that. We can fly with those clouds. Should be fine. Right. Now, we're in the sim. What I need to do is I need to go over here to on air. And you can see it says connected to simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator, no tracking in progress. So what I need to do is go to this screen. Where are we? CZPC. This is the plane we're in. Almost full of fuel. Yeah, I thought it was full. That's fine. We can go here, which should have launched this. Right, here it is. I could refuel it. I don't think we need fuel. We're all right. We've got 801 miles of range, and we're only going about 145. So we got tons of fuel. There's the cargo there. So we're going to click on confirm and go fly. All right, we're going to put in where we need to go. CYCG. We've got an alternate. We're actually going to put CKLW. No, CYLW. Kelowna. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to go to flight tracking page. All right, so it's tracking. There we go. This is our flight tracking page. Everything's green here, so you can see it's all the tracking conditions are all fine, which means that the aircraft in the simulator is matching the where on air thinks it should be. So we just click on start tracking. Come along now. There we go. So it's tracking, knows the fuel on board, and that will automatically fill the tanks in the aircraft to the right amount. So I know I don't need to go into fuel and change the fuel here because on air sim will have done it. Now I'm just going to enable track IR. There we go. I'm just going to reset it. Now, one of the things I do have, again, you're seeing all my little tricks here, the desktop up, and see if yeah, I do have it. So let me go here. Right, I have a Caravan. This is an actual 208 Caravan kind of checklist setup and kind of V speeds and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to run through this checklist. Let me see if I can make it small so I can actually have it up on this. Well, it's not going to happen, is it? As I change focus. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it on my other screen. You're not going to be able to see it. You're just going to have to trust that I'm reading it appropriately. Let me see if I can get it set up. There we go. Right, before starting engine, pre-flight inspection is fine. Doors unlocked. Yeah, sure. PAX briefing, we don't have any passengers. Cabin doors latched, fine. Crew doors unlocked. Parking brake set. Is it set? The parking brake is set. Seatbelts harnesses fine. Switches off. They are. Ignition is on norm. Where's ignition? It is on norm. That's fine. Circuit breakers check in. All those ones are fine. Circuit breakers there are fine. Are there any others? I don't think there are. Fuel tank selectors both on. There we go. They are. Radar's off. We do have a radar on these GNS systems, but it's not on. Sorry for the sound of the car. Air conditioner off. It is. Inverter off. It is. Bleed air is off. It is. Cabin heating is fine. Power level to idle. It is. Propeller full forward. Let's get that full forward. No, wrong one. There we go. Prop is full forward. Fuel condition lever is in cutoff. There we go. Rudder is fine. Fuel shutoff on. There we go. It's good. Push in. Battery switch on. So I do have a battery button on my Stream Deck. So there we go. Battery is on. Wing flaps are up. They are. Right, annunciator panel test. Is there a way to test the annunciator panel? I don't think there is. Good. All right. Normal checklist. Right. So engine start with battery, which is what we're doing. We don't have a power box out there, a start box. So let's do this and just zoom in slightly. Battery on it is. Propeller area clear. Well, that idiot's there, but let's pretend that he's not. Fuel boost on. It is. starter switch on. It is. Hang on. Ignition. Oh yeah, starter switch start. It's on right now. So we need to go ignition on. Surely I should have had some avionics on so I could see what I'm doing. Alright, let's feed some fuel in.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Yeah, I probably should have had that on. Whoops. Okay, well, just checking to make sure that we're not got a hot start. So we're just checking the ITT, making sure that it doesn't get up into the yellow or red here. Alright, NG is up over 52 it is. We can go to starter to off. And we can go fuel boost to normal. There we go. Avionics 1 and 2 on. That's why. This is probably the startup procedures for an aircraft that doesn't have the G1000. This aircraft does have the G1000, which is why the other thing I've not done is I should have had the strobe on. Gonna have to amend this document, I think. Right, let's go nav, beacon on. In fact, yeah, let's get the landing lights and taxi lights on. Avionics 1, 2, suction gauge check. Where's suction? I got suction? Well, I can't see it. Let's hope that it's okay. Alright, let's come off here. Right, so for our flight today, we're going to go up to 9,000, so let's set that up. There's 9,000. We might need to climb or descend depending on clouds and stuff like that, but we'll see. Let's get that off so we don't blind anybody, actually. We are going to go here to the PFD. And we're going to get wind on. Option 3 is the one I like. Ooh. Back. Let's get in closer so you can see. Right. So back, and then we're on a CDI. We're going to go with the GPS, which is there. We're going to check our GPS route over here. Should be fine. So you can see we're actually over in this area of parking. If you remember the chart, I'll bring that up back in a sec. Yeah, this looks good. This looks like the route that we wanted. So our first fix is Fernie, which we're headed towards. So that's good. Right. Anything else to set up there? I think we're all right. What's that? Well, fine. Right. What's the outside air temperature? I think it was pretty warm, wasn't it? Where does it say OAT? It's probably here somewhere and I just can't see it. Right, transponder's on 1200 standby. We're going to get that on alt. Right, back. A reference. So it's saying VX is 0 knots. Well, that would be interesting. So VX here is 72 knots, VY at 104. We're probably going to use VY. I don't think we're going to need to use VX. For those that don't know the difference, VX is the maximum angle of climb, and VY is the maximum rate of climb. Now, you'd use VX in a scenario where your horizontal distance, you need to keep that low. So, for example, if you've got a bunch of mountains around you, you need to climb as much as you possibly can with as little horizontal distance as you possibly can. You're going to use VX, and VX in this aircraft up to 20,000 feet is 72 knots. We're going to use VY. We're going to climb out at 104 knots. And then we're going to land between 75 and 85 knots at 30 degrees flap. So we're looking for climb out at 104 knots. Fine, no problem at all. Anything else? Air conditioning's fine. Yeah, okay. I think we've got this thing pretty much set up. Let's actually get some frequencies. So let's head back over to this one. This is Pincher Creek, and we are over here. What we want is the automated weather observation system, which is 127.65. We're not going to cheat. We're actually going to punch this in. So let's go back here, and we want 127.65. Oh, we've gone past it. There it is. Switch them over and see if we can get it. Hmm. 655 maybe sometimes. Oh, it doesn't have it. Let's cheat. It doesn't have it. Okay, well let's just do traffic then. Well, that's a shame. This airport does have an AWOS, but it doesn't have it in the sim. That's fine. We'll just use traffic calls. One of the things I would like, though, is I would like to know what the altimeter setting is here. Well, I'll tell you what we can do. We'll just do it. We'll do it a slightly cheating way. What do we got here? What is the elevation? 3,900 is the elevation here. So let's go over here. We want 3,900 on the elevation. So where's the barrow? There's the barrow. So we're just going to roll this until it says 3,000. Oops. Right around there. So 3025. 3025 inches of mercury is the QFE. Right. Well, that is everything. We don't have any aircraft around us, so I think we're good. So I am going to put the taxi lights back on now, and I'm going to announce one of the things we didn't get is the wind. What was the wind? Let's head over to windy.com. See if we can't see it. Where are we? We're over here. Pincher Creek. And we want wind. So why don't we CZPC. CZPC. There we go. What do we got? Winds 240.21. Ooh, gusting 27. It's windy. 240.21, gusting 27. What do we got there? Well, we got nothing on the ground here. We got 240 is roughly right. So we're going to take off runway 26. Right, so we'd announce, we'd say Pincher Creek traffic. Well, we're the wrong, that's the wrong, we'll just do Samurai. Samurai 1 taxiing runway 26 for a departure to the west. Right, let's get the parking brake off. Props full forward, the condition is on low idle, it's fine for taxiing. Just gonna check and make sure we're not gonna run into anything. Head down this taxiway here. Tell you what, graphically, this thing is stunning. Absolutely stunning. some wind turbines over there. They don't look like they're spinning right now. So I'm not sure why Windy is saying that we've got big gusts up to 27 knots and that windsock is looking pretty dead. I'm not quite sure what the disparity is. So obviously working from a METAR that's not that Windy is different from. Which is a shame because Windy's an awesome way of figuring out what the weather is where you are. Fuel station over there. Right, we're just coming up to the runway here. First degree of flaps in. We're going to go full to high idle on the mixture. We're just going to hold short here. And we're going to run through our pre-takeoff checklist. So let's get this back over. Let's go here. Right. Normal takeoff flaps to 20. Where are they now? Yeah, they're 10. No, they're 20. Yeah, flaps 20. Power set for takeoff. We'll do that in a second. Annunciators check. Brakes release. Rotate at 75. Climb at 85 to 95. Retract the flaps. It appears that this doesn't have 10-degree flaps. I can only do 20 or 30. Okay. That's fine. Okay, got it. Right, so we'd announce, so what are we? Pincher Creek traffic, Samurai 1, taking off runway 26, correction, 24, departure to the west. Right, here we go. Let's get landing lights on. Ignition, condition, flaps, straps. We're good. Check. Flaps are down. Yep, they are. At 20. Alright. Whoa, we've got loads of hazards there. Looks like we've got a wind turbine at the end of the runway there. Alright. Let's run this thing up. So we're into the red. We don't want to be in the red. ITT is a bit hot. I don't know what to do about that because our torque is where we need it to be. Right, release the brakes. We're on the roll. Just reducing the condition lever a little bit to keep the ITT down. So airspeed's alive. There's 40. There's 50. 60. 70, rotate. That's a long run on this aircraft.
Airborne time logged.
Alright, so that is on air saying that they've logged the airborne time. Do a slight right turn just to keep away from that wind turbine there. I'm going to climb out at 85. In fact, let's nose down slightly and climb at 90, and we're going to go flaps up. So the nose is going to start to drop down. I'm just countering that with a bit of pitch. We don't want it to start descending. We want to keep ascending. And we want to climb out at 105. Still pitching. Just playing with the trim. Trying to get a little bit of nose down. There's 100, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 105. So we can pitch up to try and hold 105. Might be a bit too much. Just bring it nose down a little bit. Pincher Creek traffic, Samurai 1's off the active, departing the pattern to the west. Final call, Pincher Creek. Right, and we're pretty much on the course we want, which is good. It was nice and easy. So we're holding our climb speed of, our en route climb speed of about 105 knots, which is good. It's giving us oh blimey, almost 1,600 feet. Well, it's over 1,600 feet right now, although we're dropping in speed. Let's get that nose down a little bit. We want 105, that's what we want. What do we got in terms of wind? I'm just going to zoom this in slightly, a bit too far away. And we got a 3-knot headwind, which we're fighting against. The beautiful Canadian Rockies. It's alright, we'll overfly it and then maybe come around. What will I do? I'll turn the heading bug slightly that way. Maybe take a heading. There we go. So just do a slight right turn here. Increase our descent rate. .500 feet down per minute. Just looking for a windsock. No, I don't see one. Which might still be too high. I can see some cars, some buildings, but no windsock. Might be one there, but I can't really make it out. Alright. What's the wind here saying? Looks like we've got a bit of a crosswind. I think I'm going to land... Yeah, I'm going to land 1.5. I'm going to land 1.5. Right, so let's call and cancel flight following.
Vancouver Center, Cessna X-Ray Golf, Sierra cancel flight following. Cessna X-Ray Golf, Sierra Vancouver Center cancellation received. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
Alright, so we'll just push over to VFR, which is our VFR frequency. We're gonna kill the autopilot. I'm gonna come around this way. We are gonna go to Castlegar traffic and let them know what we're doing. Castlegar, select a runway. We're coming in on 5.
Charlie Yankee Charlie Golf traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra 2 miles northwest 5,600 feet inbound to land runway 15.
Landing lights are on. The flaps will get closer. Just continuing our descent to get down to pattern altitude. Where is the runway? It's over there. Back there. Alright, we're heading for this hill. Just come around a little bit like this. Still 2,000 feet above pattern altitude. So what I might do is just fly down this valley and just do a long final. It's not particularly easy. When you're coming over that set of hills, you just gotta drop like a rock, which, yeah. So I mentioned about side slipping. So if we were in a scenario like right now, we could put flaps in, which would really help us on our descent. But let's say we were a bit fast and we wanted to drop like a rock, you could start to side slip. So if I do a left side slip, I kick the rudder over and I hold right aileron, which just drops the aircraft towards the ground. You can see, I need to be careful because there is a hill there. Right, so technically in a real caravan you can do 10 degrees flaps at any speed. This one doesn't have 10, so we're going to go 20, but we are inside the white arc, which is fine. I don't like my chances of getting around without hitting that hill though. Ooh. So I'm not going to start my turn here. We are slow, so I'm going to kick up the speed. So our reference speed, if we go here, doesn't actually say what VREF is, does it? No. Well, I know it's 75 to 85 knots, so that's fine. Got lots of space in this valley to turn around, which is what we're going to do. Don't get too slow. We're a bit slow now. Get the condition lever all the way forward, and we'll start our turn. And here we'd be saying Castlegar traffic. Samurai 1 is where it doesn't say. Yeah, we're about 5 miles to the north inbound to land runway 15. Trim the aircraft, and we want to be holding about, from here, about 90 knots. So that's what we're going to aim for. Just get the nose down a bit, aiming for about 90 knots. We've got a long final, so we've got a long time to get down to pattern altitude. We've got these hills to get over, so we need to be a little bit cautious. You can see we're not lined up with the runway. The runway is there to drop the speed a bit. We're getting a bit fast. Yeah, the runway's there, about that bearing as well, so, but I can't get over there because of this hill here. So we're just going to do a bit of a weird kind of dog leg onto final. I just want to get this thing down to about 2,600 feet, so I'm just going to chop the throttle. Should be trimmed out for 90, roughly around there anyways. Looks like it's more trimmed out for 100. So I'm just going to give it a bit of nose up trim just to get the aircraft trimmed for 90, and then once we get that done, then we'll use throttle for altitude and trim for speed, but we should be roughly where we need to be. So we're now within 1,000 feet of our pattern altitude. You can see that we're still a ways off. So we call it Castlegar traffic. Samurai 1's on a dog leg final for runway 15 to land Castlegar. Still a bit fast. Nose up trim. We're bit high still, so I'm going to get the next notch of flaps in, which should help us get our speed down, and descending we're going to be at our now approach speed of 75 knots, which is what I'm going to try and hold. And I'm going to use the throttle to drop the altitude, which is what we're doing, which is good. We're still at slightly high, but we're coming down nicely. I've always got a side slip that I can try if we need to. I think I might. I'm going to hold a right side slip and see if I can slip this thing down. Dropping like a rock. Good stuff. That helped a bit. Here we go. That's looking better now. We're still off the center line. Wind is showing a crosswind of only about 2 knots, so we're all right. Nice undercarriage, mixture, prop straps and flaps. Missed approach, we're going to go full power.
Wind 220 at 2 knots.
We're going to go full power, we're going to do a right turn out, climbing right turn. We're going to pitch for 85 and climb out.
500.
Still powered off approach. This is a tricky airport to land at, it's not easy. So we're just holding power off. Yeah, that was a windsock, but it's just dead, so that's fine. So we're resting, just transitioning to level flight, letting the energy bleed off.
Landing time logged. Landed at Charlie Yankee Charlie Golf, Castlegar.
Bit of a thump. We've almost stopped. There we go. Castlegar traffic, Samurai 1 is clear of the active. Some dudes over here. Let this guy guide me in. We can go to low idle on condition. Go. Let's hit the parking brake. That was fun. Right. Landing lights off now. Nav off. Let's actually use the checklist. Shut down parking brake set. It is avionics off. Well, we need to do one avionics off. That's the wrong one. That one off. I want to keep this one on because this one has our this one has our T's and P's. Okay, fuel boost off it is. Standby power off it is. Bleed, those are fine. Inverter off. Do I have an inverter? Where are you? Battery, fuel boost, alternator, ignition, starter. Yeah, I think it's fine. Prop feather. Oxygen off, fuel condition lever cut off.
Engine off time logged. End of flight, registered in on-air company.
Fuel tank selectors off. Oops. Tie-ins required, yeah, etc. Good. All right. That was a good shutdown. That was a good flight. Let's go over to the camera switch so you can see us. There we are. Good old Cessna Caravan. Oh, my flaps are down. Let's move them up. Okay, and now we can do what do we do? Ignition to norm, having the battery off, and avionics off. There we go. Aircraft is shut down. Good stuff. Well, that was a flight from, I think, Pincher Creek to Castlegar, British Columbia on air. Oh, let me show you on air. There it is. Your flight has been monitored by On Air. Cessna Caravan, November 90546 November. Pincher Creek to Castlegar, XP. You can see I got a little bit of trouble because, well, they weren't off. Beacon strobe weren't off at engine start. Oh no, actually they were. Yeah, you're right, they were. Yeah, the landing lights were off during approach. Well, it wasn't really during approach. I think that's a bit of a bug in this thing. And then lights were on and engine shutdown. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I didn't get a great reputation on this one. I took a little bit of a hit on those things. But I did get some XP bonuses. Aircraft condition change. So if I click on OK, you can see that... Oh, no, that's not me. CYCG. You can see that I'm now over here in Castlegar. Yeah, that was that hill there. You can see them over here in Castlegar, and if I go to this thing, 2.5 million, and if I click on that, you'll see that I got some money for that. Let me scroll down. Payment for cargo, there you go, 48 grand. Bit of a landing fee for landing here, 70 bucks to land here. Oh, there's that lady that I put to sleep, Isabel. She obviously stayed at a hotel, £40 or $40 there, credits. So yeah, landing fee there, and then payment that I got for delivering it. So that's income, fantastic. So we're up to 2.53 million. So not too bad. That's it for tonight's video, folks. This has been On Air Airline Manager with Flight Sim 2020. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, look after each other. Samurai is RTB.